All right, guys. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be changing the tube. This tube, we're going to be putting it into this microphone. So it is a demo microphone. I got this microphone from Sweetwater as a demo, and the tube has started to fail. I've had it for a little while now, but the tube is starting to fail. I have another video that's all about that, so I'll put a card up on the screen for that. So you can go check that out if you want more info on what that sounds like and what the process has been like so far for me to figure out that the tube has failed. But anyway, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be swapping out this tube and this microphone today. All right, so we're here on my desk. You can see I actually have my computer under this microphone, which probably isn't the best idea, but you can see my computer screen and my Neve compressor. And what we have here is we have the EF86 electro-harmonix electron tube. So this is the one that Warm Audio sent to me to replace the one that's in this microphone. So this is a Warm Audio microphone. It's the WA-67 mic. And I don't know if they currently have this exact tube in there, if this is the one that it comes with, but this is the one that Warm Audio themselves are sending to people to replace the one that's in here. So that's what we're looking at here. And you know, tubes will sometimes fail over time. They have tube testers that you can get. We used to have that in the repair shop that I used to work in. And you can throw the tubes on there and test the tubes, and it might tell you if there's an issue, stuff like that. But tubes do need to be changed sometimes. It does happen. And I'm going to be using this glove while I'm changing this tube. It's not really necessary, to be honest. I do it, there's something in the back of my head. I think it's from when I worked in theater and we weren't allowed to touch the lights because the oils in your fingers could cause them when they heat up because lights would heat up very, very quickly and it could cause them to explode. So I was taught to not touch those, I think it was like the halogen lights that they have in, like Broadway theaters and stuff. Something in my brain doesn't want me to touch this tube directly with my fingers, even though audio tubes, it's not really the case that you can't touch them. Most people will say that you can touch them. It's not that big a deal unless it's like a vintage tube and you don't want to like accidentally rub off any of the ink or something that's on the tube itself. So, take it or leave it. I feel like it doesn't hurt to use gloves, so I'm going to use a glove even though I don't necessarily really have to. That's my thought process for this one. Now, this WA-67 mic, it is a tube condenser microphone, so I will put a link in the description to it for you guys. So check that out if you want to check that out. And what I did, just to make sure that I'm being as thorough as possible, is I had Warm Audio send me the instructions directly on how to change this tube. So I'm going to be following along with some written directions. I will put them up on the screen for you guys so you can see the same directions that I'm using. It's pretty simple. It should be a pretty simple process, but I know sometimes people like to see what it looks like when they're about to do something. So that's why I'm making this video. All right, so I'm going to take this microphone out and move this box here. So here's the microphone. It's got some different polar patterns here. We got omni, cardioid, figure 8. We've got some other, we got the -10B and versus 0, so you can kick it down a notch if you have a loud sound source. And then we have the shelf versus flat EQ. I hope you guys can see that nicely. But it's a beautiful microphone. It's a replica of the Neumann 67 mic. So it's a little bigger, I think, than the Neumann, if I'm remembering right, but it's a beautiful mic. Okay, so the first instruction is to unscrew the mic base on the bottom of the mic and then remove it. So I'm going to unscrew this. I can feel it getting loose up here at this seam, so I'm kind of holding both sides of this seam here so it doesn't fall apart on me. Just going to take me a second here to unscrew it. There's probably a good amount of threading here. All right, so you see all that threading. So you do have to unscrew it for a good amount of time. So now, once that is off, the mic body will slide off the inside rails of the mic. So this is the mic body. So I'm just going to slide it off here. I like how hefty this microphone is. It's very satisfying to me. I don't know why. All right, so here we have it. This is the inside of the microphone. It's pretty cool, huh? So here's the tube, just chilling, being itself. So with the mic body off, you will find the tube and socket on the rear side of the mic. So here's the tube, here's the socket that it plugs into. Done. We found it. All right, so now I'm going to put on my gloves, even though I don't really need to. I don't know why I said gloves. It's gloves singular, but ta-da, I did it. Okay. To remove the tube, slightly wiggle the tube and pull away from the socket to remove. All right. Just wiggling it back and forth very slowly and carefully. There we go. It's out. Let's see, what is it? EF86EH, electro-harmonix. Was that the same one that I got? EF86, yeah. Might be the same one. I don't know if it says EH on it, on the new one that I have, but we'll see here. Made in Russia. Very cool. I hope you guys can see this. I'll add some B-roll if you can't. So there's the old one. I'm going to set it over there. All right, when socketing the new tube, it will only go in one way. Cool, can't mess it up. You will notice a small space that has no hole in the socket. This is mirrored on the tube with its legs. Cool, so there's a space with no hole right there. So I'm going to mirror that with my tube. So I'm going to set this down very carefully. And I'm going to open this guy up. I'm just pushing on the cardboard here to help get it out. Okay, there we go. Here's my tube. Let's see. Yep, EF86EH. So it is the same tube. Electro-harmonix. All right, so the tube itself has the same gap. You can see it's right there. So I'm going to line that gap up with the gap on the socket. Trying to make sure my glove doesn't get caught in this thing. This is the drawback of using a glove. It looks like it's seated. I mean, it's not fully seated. It looks like it's lined up is what I meant. So I'm just reverse wiggling really carefully, really slowly. Okay. The next step is to make sure the tube is fully seated into the socket. So I'm just going to kind of keep pushing and see how it's at an angle right now. I want to make sure that it's straight. Just get it as in there and flush against the socket as possible. It shouldn't look crooked or anything. Beautiful. I think it's pretty flush. Yeah, I hope you guys can see that. I know I keep saying that, but I have this ancient GoPro that I make all my videos with, and that's all I have. Okay, make sure the tube is fully seated. Oh, got it. Cool. Okay, put everything back together, power on the mic, and let the tube warm up for at least 10 minutes. Cool, I think we're basically done. So I'm just going to kind of let you guys look at these amazing insides for a moment. They're so cool. And then I'm going to put it back together. So the thing that I'm seeing here is we have our switches, right? We talked about those. So we want to remember that those are there and kind of line it up that way. So I believe this is the polar pattern switch, and then these two are on the other side. So they're the other two. So I'm going to kind of line that up. Cool, and it looks good. It looks like everything's lining up. And then I'm going to screw this back on. All right. And I think that's basically it. So I'm going to go test this. I won't post this video if it doesn't test properly, but I think we're all done. So again, if you want to hear what a failing tube sounds like, I had a card up on the screen for that, and I will have a link in the description for you guys to check that video out. It's one of my last two videos. I think it's like 2 videos ago. But if you want to hear what the failing tube sounds like and what the process was like for me to get to this point, then please check that video out because there's more detail in there. And other than that, I do still plan on making a video where we kind of listen to it warming up versus fully warmed up. So keep an eye out for that in the future. And, let me know what you think of videos like this. If you like them, if you don't like them, let me know in the comments below. And other than that, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That all helps me out. It helps my channel. I do have a Patreon, so it's patreon.com/CatoNoise, and my patrons get some additional content. The big thing I've been focusing on lately is the Discord server, where we have like a book club and we just nerd out together. It's a lot of fun. Everyone's really nice on there. It's been a good time. So, if you feel so inclined, please check that out. And other than that, I come out with new videos every Wednesday, and thank you so much for hanging out. Okay. All right. Bye, everybody.